stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection. We take vandalism seriously here. You don't mess with history. New Homestead is a living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
Hi there. Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth, but we do a better job preserving its traditions. We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
The people here. This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
Welcome to New Homestead.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage. You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. So, let's talk about wind power, shall we? You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets. You're looking at a piece of history. Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years. It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day. Mostly. I'm sure you've noticed the occasional brownouts. I guess these old machines have a habit of freezing up, what with all the ice out here. There's some methane on reserve for critical life support systems, but everything else here is otherwise powered by the units you see here. Absolutely. Careful, though. I wouldn't stand too close to the turbines if I were you.
No, stop that. You're going to kill someone.
So, let's talk about wind power, shall we? You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though, of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about... methane and other resources, right? Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here, basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it.
If you're overloaded, we should stop and prioritize what we're carrying.
Questions? Fire away! It's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs. Exports mostly, since this world is so methane rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen via modern science. Oh, no one's ever asked me that before. Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry. Take your time. But not too much time. Don't want to keep other customers waiting, you know. Questions? Fire away! Okie dokie, artichoke. There will be time for more later anyway. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn. This colus used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago. to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is, Ymir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like. According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it. I've heard this particular formation was caused by an ancient volcano. Something about steam and wind, then worn down over time. But I'm not 100% sure. Just be careful, it can get slippery out that way. I'll wait here. So here it is, Emir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like. Just be careful, it can get slippery out that way. I'll wait here. So here it is. Excellent. On to the next stop then. So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. Ah, that brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth, as a way to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and they respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks.
Mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation. Since methane production is such an important part of the colony's livelihood, it's important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below, but due to the cold, it keeps freezing. As it reaches the surface.
Just got a message. Looks like we got another leak in Sector 3.
Again? That's the second time this month.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines? I wouldn't recommend it. First, it's an active work site. Second, it still needs to be filtered and checked for contaminants. But don't worry, we'll stop somewhere for refreshments before the tour is over. Good question. I believe it has something to do with not wanting to contaminate the water with methane and other chemicals. The ice helps prevent impurities in the water. At least this is what I've been told. Not all. Some water is created as a byproduct of methane processing, but that's usually saved in the emergency reserves. Of course, watch your step. It can get slick around here. I'll stay behind.
Another tourist come to learn about the ice mines, huh? It's dangerous in the ice mines. I'd much rather answer your questions than have you going off to explore on your own. For one, New Homestead is not a wealthy colony. But we also pride ourselves on doing things the old ways. It's part of the living history, they say. We don't mind. We work hard here. It's very rewarding. For drinking water, and we use some of it to produce this air you're breathing. We recycle a lot of what we use, but we still need a nice, steady supply of fresh water. Lucky for us, Titan provides. I'm surprised I still get this question. It's slippery, it's sharp, it can break, it can cave in. Those are just the obvious examples. Titan is also full of methane, which can sometimes be trapped under the ice. As you know, methane can explode under the right conditions. It can also asphyxiate you if you breathe in too much of it. But it is. My parents both died to a methane leak due to an ice mining mishap. It happened while I was away at school. When that happened, I gained a new respect for the job, especially here on Titan. I decided when I grew up, I would work as an ice miner myself. I vowed to take the utmost care and precision so that such a disaster would never happen again. I hope you now have a similar appreciation for the work we do. Bye.
It must be difficult, trying to survive, when this collection of shipping containers is all you have for permanent accommodations.
You're into that sort of thing.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines? Sounds good. Let's keep going then. We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour, and it just happens to be my favorite. This colony is home to the longest-running establishment still in existence, the Brown Horse Tavern. The Brown Horse started as a simple mess hall for the scientists and workers when the underground was built, but it's been operated by the same family ever since. Now, what's a horse, you might say? They were a large four-legged animal on Earth, often used for transportation or manual labor. Long before space travel was even a dream for the folks of Earth, even before antique machines like automobiles were possible, horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them somewhere. If not, I highly recommend looking into them sometime. They're beautiful animals. The tavern's original owner was infatuated with them, from what I understand, and named the place in their honor. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants hundreds of years before it was established.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't give in to tourists.
Enjoy your visit here.
Oh, the tourists hated that. Well, Joyce says she's on it. Something about the turbines freezing up again.
Joyce is great at what she does. I'm sure she'll handle it.
Ice mining operations are unusual.
That delicious
but if they're run
smell
properly,
is making me
they can prove to be
hungry.
quite lucrative.
Can I answer anything about the brown horse? Anya Seattle is the current owner of the brown horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there. Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything. Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced. Oh yeah, by all means, stop in for a moment.
Welcome to the Brown Horse. Welcome, I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern? Oh, well, thank you for joining us. You're in for a real treat. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you? Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk. But don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but he's a bit of a fanatic about it. You mean the Brown Horse? Well, it's only the longest continuous running restaurant since humans started settling outside of Earth. There's a lot of history within these walls, and some damn fine food and drink, if I say so myself. This place has been in my family for generations. My however many, great-grandmother opened it when the first colony started on Titan. Back then, it was a simple mess hall that she chose to put a little extra love and flavor into. And now, it's the pride of New Homestead. Let me show you what we have. Hope you'll be back sometime.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Lots of history
Get
here,
used to the
if you're
methane
into that
processing
sort of
smell
thing.
after a while.
How about those brownouts last week?
I know. I'm just glad the auxiliary power picked up. Remember that time a few years back where everyone had to huddle together for warmth?
Oh, the tourists hated that.
Hi there.
Well,
Always
Joyce
nice to
says
see a new
she's on it.
face.
Something about the
It's a little weird
turbines
that
freezing
people
up
come
again.
here to see what early
Joyce is
colony
great at
life
what she
was
does.
like.
I'm sure she'll
To
handle
me,
it.
it's just how we live.
We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
That delicious smell is making me hungry. Can I answer anything about the brown horse? Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop. Right back. Where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more. Well, that's that! I hope you enjoyed Starsap Tours as much as I enjoy giving them. Oh, wow. I really appreciate it. You know, I rely on tips from good people like you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead.
Wow, very generous. As long as you're throwing around money, maybe you wouldn't mind tossing some my way.
Take care!
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to her.
Careful. There are some dangerous areas around here.
Are you shooting at flies now?
careful. There are some dangerous areas around here.
How's it going out there with the ice? I'm really glad you're helping us out. Good work. I should be able to take it from here. Thanks. I hope this lasts a little longer than last time.
People here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it.
Welcome to New Homestead is a living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
not looking to cause any trouble in that costume of yours.
It's chasing me! It's gonna eat me! Ah! 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 Run away! Ah! 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 Get away! Get away! What is that thing? No! Leave me alone! No! Leave me alone! It's gonna eat me! Ah! 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 Ah!
I could really go for some of Anya's cooking over the brown horse. Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime. I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
Oh, get out of here with that atrocious thing. You're gonna scare the children.
Hello, don't mind me.
We get a lot of tourists out this way, but most of them aren't so bold as to strike up conversations with us. What's your deal? You seem genuine enough. So what can I do for you? From what I know about farming elsewhere, it's largely the same. Big difference is that we need to import or make our own soil. And we need to be extra careful with our temperature control. Titan's surface is frozen, and it's not much better just below it with the ice caves. Then it's just a matter of artificial sunlight and supplying CO2 for the crops. It's not too challenging. Well, for one, it's my wife Mara's farm. I just had the good fortune of marrying into it. It's been in her family for generations. We're the best source of fresh produce in the colony. Not like that processed junk we get from off-world, and certainly nothing like that eyesore chunks. No worries. You have yourself a day now.
Ah, someone new. Are you a tourist, or have you just moved to New Homestead? Oh, you should probably know then that homes aren't the same as where you're probably from. You'd be lucky to own a private room, let alone a whole hab unit of your own, but don't let that scare you away. It's quite cozy and pleasant here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like? Oh my, that sounds incredible. Ever since I overheard one of the tourists speaking about it, I've always wanted to go. We hear about it, of course, but we rarely get much exposure to other worlds beyond the people who come from them to visit our little colony. I wonder if I can convince Nathaniel to go on a trip there with me and our daughter. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard? That does sound dangerous. Even though we're only a small colony and we're far from the rest of the UC, they still provide us with plenty of security. And our local guards are just great. We rarely have trouble unless it comes from unruly tourists and cargo pilots stopping on their way to Sidonia. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water? I've read about them. It seems incredible, doesn't it? I've only ever known Titan, and it's always so cold and drab. I've always dreamed of visiting one to breathe the air, feel the warmth of its sun, but my husband is reluctant to leave our home. Can I ask you something else? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is space travel as exciting as it seems? I've heard stories about pirates and spaceship malfunctions and all sorts of terrible things. I've always wanted to try going into space, but I'm also worried about all those dangers. Maybe people here are right. The dangers here are few, and we know how to take care of them. Space is too unknown. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for me.
I've heard, did you know that Earth had all sorts of... Let me know if you have any other questions.
If you'll pardon me, I'm not in the mood to talk.
This is a boring assignment. Let's keep it that way.
I'll treat you if you need it. Well, I can say the costume looks good on you. I bought it from a private seller. They said they got it from someone who wore it in a secondary school as their sports team mascot. I guess it was supposed to be a tardigrade or something. Anyway, the person I bought it from modified it a bit so they could use it in an independent movie they were making. But I guess that went nowhere, so they had to sell it. Lucky me, I suppose. I'll bet they won't be coming back anytime soon. Thanks for indulging me with my weird ideas. Tell you what, if you want to come back later and do this for me a couple more times, I'll even let you keep the costume. If you take one of those stupid tours, make sure to follow the rules. They're for your own safety and my sanity. Stay safe. You wouldn't believe how many off-worlders think hiking the surf. I saw another group of tourists making their way outdoors, ripe for scaring. Want to help me out again? Sure. I heard some tourists talking about you after the last time you did it, so I think it's working. Are you ready to put on the monster costume and go scare them right now? I think it might be worth trying. Good luck out there.
We take vandalism seriously here. You don't mess with history.
I heard about what you're doing. Just be careful. Not much we can do if someone gets scared and attacks you out there. Hello. Enjoy your visit here. Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live
Wow,
here.
that's some
I wonder how
costume
they can
you've
live
got
anywhere
there.
else.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
Don't stay. Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
I heard some of the tourists talking about you.
Ready to head out there? Still.
Do what we gotta do until we can get the approval to replace the whole unit.
Well, the leaks haven't been too bad. It's held together this long.
I heard about what you're doing. Just be careful. Not much we can do.
I think it's time to put on the monster costume again. What can I do for you? I'll bet they won't be coming back anytime soon. Thank you. With any luck, I'll be able to give more attention to my regular patients now. Come back in a few days to do this for me again, and that costume is yours. All right?
Ready to head out there? Still looks...
Whatever you did last time with the monster costume worked out well, but there are still some more tourists. Care to give it another try? Yeah, I think it's about time to try this again. If we keep it up, word is bound to get around about the monster of Titan. Are you ready to put on the monster costume and go scare them right now? Why not? Just be careful out there. I don't want to see you wind up in my clinic.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection.
It's a little weird that people come here to see early colony life was like.
Running this farm is my
We used to get more tourists on the days.
Let's keep it that way.
Get away from it! It's going to eat us! No! Leave me alone! It's gonna eat me! Ah! It's chasing me! Ah! Get away! Get away! Get away! Get away! It's gonna eat me! Get away from me! Run away! What is that thing? Ah! It's chasing me! No! Leave me alone! Ah! It's gonna eat me! No! Leave me alone! Ah! Get away! Get away! What is that thing? Run away! No! Get away from me!
Ready to head out there? Still looks like.
We take vandalism seriously here.
It's chasing me!
much energy. I want to run around.
Bets, I kind of want to try food from that Chunks place, but my papa says it's just a bunch of junk food for tourists.
You'll never catch me.
Do you have a spaceship? I want to get a spaceship when I'm older. They're so cool. I can't wait to go away on my learning vacation when I grow up. It's always so cold here. What are you supposed to be? You look so stupid and silly. What are you supposed to... Do you have a spaceship? I want to get a spaceship when I'm older. They're so cool.
Don't be... Did you scare off those tourists yet? I'll bet they won't be coming back anytime soon. I'm just happy I was able to find someone willing to help with this ridiculous idea. Oh, I managed to find another costume for you to keep. I'll hold on to the old one in case we still need it. Come back anytime. If you take one of those stupid, be well. I'll treat you if you need it, but please, just a sec. Let's take a look. What's going on here? I don't see anything wrong with you. Okay, I'll take a look at you. I hope this isn't some sort of joke. You're completely fine. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. You're fine. Unless you're a hypochondriac. In which case, I can't help you with that. Okay, I'll take a look at you. I hope this isn't some sort of... I don't have a whole lot, but hopefully I've got what you need. Try to be careful out there.